What is up, you beautiful people, and welcome back to the Upper 90 YouTube channel. The transfer window has closed in the Premier League, which is meaning we need to talk about the top 10 signings that came in this window, so stick around as we dive deeper into this. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Mike, huge fan of the Premier League. If you agree with me that it is the best league in the world, make sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube video. I greatly appreciate that. Now let's dive right into it. At number 10, I have Chris Wood. Now I'm going to be looking at my computer here as well because I have a few numbers I want to know about Chris Wood. Now Chris Wood is 30 years old. Yes, he is a little bit older on the end of his career, but as we know, he's been a player in the Premier League that has really shown how great of a player he can be at Burnley, which again, as we know, Burnley is not a very good team. They most likely will get relegated this season. Yes, they brought in a player. I didn't have him in the top 10. Veghorst or something. I'm not even sure how to pronounce his name, but let's get back to Chris Wood. Chris Wood was sold for about $34 million. And I think that's a pretty good deal for Newcastle. Yes, Newcastle did splurge quite a bit in this transfer window. There's a few other players that we will talk about, but they definitely need a forward because right now Callum Wilson is out, who is their main striker, so they definitely need to fill that gap in. And Chris Wood can definitely find the back of net. We've seen him do it before, time and time again at Burnley. So again, it's a very good signing, which is why I have him at number 10. Now at number 9, surprisingly, Tottenham did pick up some players in this transfer window. Their first one I have here is Kulusevski. Now, I apologize if I mispronounced that. He is a Swedish player. The 21-year-old came from Juventus. His price range was a little bit, I'm not too sure if it was that great of a range for Tottenham because it was a loan. There obviously is a buy-on clause for him. So again, this is going to be one of those test the water, see how well he does at the club, which is why I have him at number 9 because this really could go either way for Tottenham. He is a midfielder. They did let go a few of their midfielders. So again, they were a little thin or lacking some midfielders. So they need to bring in some new legs. He may start off the bat, but I have a feeling some of the other players that came in, and obviously Højbjerg will keep starting for Tottenham. So again, this one is really up in the air. I'm kind of curious to see how he works out for Tottenham. Now at number 8, we have none other than the ex-Tottenham player, Dele Alli, who obviously went to Everton. If you didn't watch my video, I made a video yesterday, so I recommend watching that if you can. This, I think, is a very, very good sign. Now, technically, they did not pay anything for him, Everton. They had to pay $10 million after he plays 20 matches or has 20 appearances, which will not happen this season. So on that end, that is a very smart move on Everton. Again, I'm not sure exactly what Tottenham was thinking about this. Why not ask for the money right up front? But anywho, I think this could be a great signing for Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard, as we know, has really helped with the youth academy at Chelsea. We saw a lot of players come up, Mason Mount, Reece James, just to name a few players. I think he can help Dele Alli get his kind of confidence back, his mojo that he used to have with Pochettino at Tottenham. I think that could be a huge impact for this player. If he can get back to that level when he was about 20 years old, this will be huge for Everton and obviously the player himself because we saw him just terrorize the midfield. If Frank Lampard can get him back there, this is going to be the one of the best signings for Everton and for Frank Lampard. Now, at number 7, we do head back to Tottenham where we talk about their other midfielder, Bentancur. Bentancur, again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing some of these, but he is 24 years old. He is a midfielder, and the price that they paid for him was roughly around $21.3 million, which I think is a fair deal. 24-year-old in the midfield. I think he's more of a defensive player, which will sit next to Højbjerg in the midfield. I think this will give some pressure off Højbjerg, which will be massive for this club because, again, as we've seen before with Tottenham, when Højbjerg just gets overrun in the midfield, Tottenham just get absolutely destroyed. They definitely need someone else in that midfield to help out. I know I've seen some other videos that say he's similar to a Skip, but it seems like he's going to be a better upgrade than him. So again, I think this was a smart move on Conte's. And again, he's seen this player play, obviously being in the Italian league. So again, this is one of those that I think he's been on Conte's radar for a while. So most likely, Conte will get the best of this player, and I think this is a very good signing for Tottenham. Now, at number 6, we have none other than Danny Van de Beek from Manchester United going to Everton on a loan. This, myself, I think is one of the smart moves, not only for Danny, but Everton as well, because he's been rotting away at Manchester United on the bench. He barely gets to play. When he does play, it seems like he's one of the better players out there. He actually puts a full amount of energy out onto the pitch each and every time he's out there compared to some of the players on Manchester United. So again, I'm really surprised why he hasn't started. Maybe there's something else that's going on that we just don't see or realize about Donny. But again, this is a very smart move for Everton because, again, they're testing the water with the loan player. And if they really like it, there will be a buy-on clause with this as well. So this could be massive for Everton. Again, going forward with Frank Lampard's style, I think he's going for an attacking mindset in the midfield. So having Dele Alli with Donny van de Beek and then possibly Allen as their holding defensive midfielder, I think is going to be a very solid 3 in the midfield. Again, Frank Lampard have maybe a whole different scenario, but this, again, is showing that Frank Lampard is wanting to improve this entire club. So we'll see how it turns out with Donny at Everton. Now, at number 5, we head back to Newcastle. Now, Newcastle, again, like I said, had splurged quite a bit on certain players this transfer window. This one is on Kieran Trippier, which, as we know, is a very good defensive player. He is a free kick specialist, very deadly on any type of free kick. So whether it's a corner kick, any spot balls like that, we've seen him cross so many balls in. He just does this so well. He obviously did this at Tottenham, did it at Atletico, and now he's going to be back in the Premier League. And I think Newcastle made a very smart signing on this. Now, at number 4, we move from Everton to Aston Villa, and this is Lukas Digne. Now, if you didn't see this, this was one of those bizarre ones. This happened pretty much right off the bat when the transfer window opened. So again, this is kind of old news, but again, he is in the top 5 for transfers in this window because the reason why I think it's so odd is that Everton was struggling so much, yet they had this solid player on their bench that never played. Then they go and fire their manager after he already sold Lukas Digne. So it was one of those things that maybe they should have kept him. That could have been a smarter move. But again, he went to Aston Villa, and I know Stevie G will get the best of this player because as of lately at Aston Villa, Stevie G has been just improving this squad each and every week. I think he's definitely going to keep this team up and also make them a very strong contender next season when he has a full time with the off season and everything to get them up to speed with his tactics and his style. At number 3, we have Bruno Fernandes. And I apologize again on this name. I listened to a bunch of YouTube videos how to pronounce this. I know he usually goes by Bruno, but again, I wanted to say his full name. He's also going to Newcastle. He ended up going for about 46.9 million, almost 47. So obviously Newcastle, this was their big splurge in the midfield. Same thing I talked about with Kieran Trippier, that their midfield was lacking along with their defense. This again is going to help out in their midfield. I think John Joe Shelby obviously is an elite player. Well, I shouldn't say elite. He's a good player. He could definitely do a lot better. He makes some intelligent passes, but also makes some very dumb passes. But I think him pairing up with Bruno here in the midfield is going to be very solid. I don't think people are realizing how well these two players are going to play off each other and are going to help each other get better and better. Now, number 2, again, this is another older one that went to Aston Villa, and this is Coutinho. Now, I don't think I have to speak too much on this player and how well he's done already in the Premier League at Liverpool, and even coming back for Aston Villa. We saw him help out Aston Villa draw against Manchester United. So this, I'm not going to say a whole lot, but I think he was probably one of the best signings or loans that came through this transfer window for Aston Villa and also the Premier League, because again, this player is such a playmaker. He can do so many different things with the ball, passing the ball, makes runs. He's very intelligent. And again, this is one that just really surprised me that other teams weren't looking to pick this midfielder up, because again, we've already seen how well he can do in the Premier League, and it just seems like he could have just dropped into pretty much any team, maybe minus Manchester City and Liverpool, but otherwise any other club, I think he could have definitely just fit right into any club. So that's why I have him at number 2. And at number 1, we have Luis Diaz that went to Liverpool. And the reason why I have him at number 1 is because time and time again with Liverpool's transfers, they make such smart transfers. Yes, there's been a few. Obviously, there's been an Andy Carroll. There's been, I'm trying to think, Benteke. Usually when it comes to their forwards, they're not the best. Obviously, Mohamed Salah and Mane have really turned out well. But if you look at their track record since Klopp has been there, they have signed some phenomenal players for not that expensive. And again, this player came at a very good rate. I'm trying to think how much it actually was again. I think it was right around 40 something. It was, oh yeah, 50 million. So just a little over 40 something. So he came in for 50 million. Now, like I said, this player itself, 25 years old, is more of a winger. So I think he's going to maybe play under Mohamed Salah for a little bit. start learning from him, gain some of those traits, and then possibly start with those guys, maybe drop back a little bit into the midfield. But overall, this is going to be a fun player to watch. Colombian international, and I've seen him play international games, and every time you watch him, his footwork is phenomenal. If he can keep that going in the Premier League, yes, there will be a hard transition into the Premier League like most players do face, but again, if he can settle in fairly quickly, this is going to be a huge signing for Liverpool, not only for this season, but future seasons as well, because again, with his age, he definitely will be there for a couple seasons. Klopp is very intelligent when incorporating different players when they come in. So again, this I think was the best signing of the transfer window for 2022. So that is all I have for you today. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe down below, and also comment what you think about all these signs. I want to know what you think, who your top 10 were. So again, comment down below so I can see that, and I will see you next time.